Eugene Cousins here, welcome back to the channel. Alright, so my little bit of commentary before this video starts, which is all about replacing the crankshaft, inserting the new gasket, removing the bearings, installing the new bearings, is basically that there's some changes that's happened. So you might be the guy that wants to do the tinkering yourself, wants to do the replacement, or you might be an importer dialing into the channel, if we can put it like that, trying to figure out what parts to order, or how you would go ahead and do something like this. What you need to know is that there's been a parts change where the crankshaft has changed from the older model to a new model crankshaft. And that's important because if you're ordering the oil seals, they are now conformed to be the same size, as well as the fact that if you take that, you've split your crank, you've got your old crankshaft out, it will not look exactly the same as your old one. There's a new crankshaft which is being introduced. And so some positive changes, but you need to be aware of it and what parts to order. So I've done my best to illustrate as much of this video with some parts numbers included. And I hope that you guys find it valuable information. And if you are unsure about the information that you've seen here, you can put a comment in, or you could ask your importer. Maybe your importer doesn't do that regular import, so he might not be 100% aware of the changes, and then you can also just contact Nirvana or myself and we'll try and assist you as best we can. All right, guys, enjoy the video and like and subscribe. Something I never say, but if you guys do it, then at least I know that you guys are watching the channel and that the information is being found to be useful. All right, I'll be seeing you in the next one.
Here we go with the special
Then
tools.
you need only change this gasket. You make screwdriver.
So you're gonna destroy it. That's basically the bottom line. Yeah, you're popping it out. There we go.
Just wait for it and go.
And next size.
Not an easy process, but you got to get it done. 2 oil seals on both sides.
This is
You can see the bearings on both sides.
This is a 230, right? What part is that?
That's a 25.
25 millimeter. 20.
On the new one, it's 25-25, whereas
Yes.
the old one is 25-20.
How do we know? Is it before 2011? Or
No, this new one is new, brand new. We're talking
Okay.
about
Anything
2023. yeah.
before Blue Line and F-Light?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I use hydraulic press.
Solid press.
You check not lock the.
Yeah, it's still
Crankshaft?
free moving. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Side note here on the specific crankshaft that we're working on, it's not a new crankshaft. It's a machine that's done over 900 hours without a service, which is very surprising. And it might just be down to the customer's location and situation. He specifically does not want to replace all of the bearings unless it's necessary. So we are doing the bearing check automatically. You know, if it's not safe, or we know that the bearing will go, will not last, then that is the recommendation that we made to the customer. But we are doing the checks, and you guys are part of that to be able to see that in the video and get to learn if a bearing is good or not. To know when bearings should be replaced, have a look in your manual. We check the needle bearing or the small end bearing at 100 hours at the service regime of 100 hours or 12 months. Then at 300 hours we check the main bearings if the customer, if it's present on the piston when we look at the engine, when we open up that hot section and we see that it's been subject to heat, then there would be a decision made whether the main bearings need to be checked. And also, as you rotate the piston and the con rod, you'd be able to feel that it's not a very slick movement of the bearings, and it warrants a further check, and that's when we go ahead and split up the crank, and it's more cost to the customer. Again, on this specific machine, the customer does not want to replace bearings, that doesn't need to. So what we've decided to do on the engineer's specific opinion was not to replace the bearing inside the crankshaft. He felt that was necessary, and that's been determined by doing the physical check.
I cleaning this. Protože
So the customer, his wish is not to change the whole part because he doesn't want to invest too much money right now because he bought like a new machine. So he would like to sell it out and to check it if it's usable somehow. So he would rather to keep it in.
Sure.
So he's testing that by the pressure.
a v ruce je cítit, že je v pořádku. Ať mu to tady
Try
opřu.
it, and by hand you should feel it's alright.
And this doesn't matter here?
Tohle je normální.
It's normal.
It's
Side to
smooth.
side.
The bearing is smooth.
Že se to hýbe trošku do boku, tak je
Forward,
pořád.
back.
Ne, tam totiž do boku to vždycky je tam ten výkmít, protože tam je tisícina milimetrů.
Bearings are the same.
Vlastně ložiska jsou stejné tady na ty průměry.
For that kind of measure.
Tahle strana u řemeničky je stejná
That side, the right side, is fully the same.
a tahle strana u magneta je rozdíl jenom v tom guferu.
The
It's only
collar
these
is
parts that
shorter.
are different, right?
Ložisko je stejné.
The coil bearing is fully the same.
And that's the new one. So to answer anyone's questions about the new crank versus the old crank is the fact that it's now standardized that the new crank can use one size of gasket instead of two different size gaskets, because this used to take a 20 and this 25 on this side, and now you got a 20, 25 on both sides. So, and the other thing is that this gets cut off, shortened a little bit by the factory, where in the past there was a mistake or two where these were sent out being a little bit too long. And that's just us acclimatizing to the fact that these cranks have changed, and in the future they will be fully prepared.
Side note on when you're heating the crankcase, in order to insert that bearing, there's no specific time. Depends on the heat that you're applying. If it's very hot, then usually it's around 1.5 minutes of heating it equally around the position of where the bearing should be going, and it should fit in nicely as you see in the video. But the test to know if it's at the right heat would be to throw water on it, and it runs a little bit of bubbles on top of it, so it's not evaporating immediately. It's not going the water bubble. The water is just turning into small little balls running all over the place, and then you know you're at the right heat.
What kind of glue is it?
It's normal glue from the shoes and Patex.
Patex chemical.
Yes. I don't know what you have
Nah.
in state.
On each bolt area. just to hold the seal in place, right?